What do you want, Jason?
I don't know. I just said if they don't get out of the first round, I said I'd send you $1,000. What would you be willing to do if they advance out of the second round?
We could just do it $1,000 for $1,000 if you want.
Awesome. Thank you. That's what I was hoping for. That's we have a $1,000 challenge.
Jason Whitlock just put real money on the Los Angeles Lakers, and not pocket change either. We're talking $2,000 on the line. Now think about that for a second. Is this the most confident take anyone has had about the Lakers all season? Or is this just another example of how LeBron James still has people believing in something that might not be real? So let me ask you. Backhand index pointing right, do the Lakers actually get out of the first round this year? Or is this another regular season illusion that collapses when the pressure hits? Drop your prediction, because this bet tells us everything.
I will guarantee that they win in the if the big three stay healthy, they certainly get out of the first round of the playoffs. If they do not get out of the first round of the playoffs, I'll send you $1,000. Now, if they win a second round series, what will you send me? If they advance out of the second round of the playoffs, what will you send me?
What do you want, Jason?
I don't know. I just said if they don't get out of the first round, I said I'd send you $1,000. What would you be willing to do if they advance out of the second round?
We could just do it $1,000 for $1,000 if you want.
Awesome. Thank you.
Here's where it gets interesting. Whitlock's terms are crystal clear. He loses $2,000 if the Lakers don't make it out of the first round. His opponent wins $1,000 if the Lakers pass round 1. Another $1,000 if they pass round 2. Sounds like a great deal, right? Even Whitlock's opponent admitted it. Translation? Backhand index pointing right, most people still believe the Lakers are more likely to crash early than make a deep run. But Whitlock? He's doubling down specifically on the first round. That's not a casual take. That's conviction.
Have a $1,000 challenge. If they don't get out of the first round, I'll send you $1,000. If they get out of the second round, you send me $1,000. I feel very comfortable with that. Is that not a good bet, gentlemen? That's a very good. It's a fair bet. It's a good bet. You know what? I'm going to make it even more fair.
Now here's where things take a turn. Whitlock hasn't exactly been a fan of LeBron this season. In fact, he's been one of his biggest critics, arguing that LeBron's role was actually holding this team back. Specifically, backhand index pointing right, trying to be the second option instead of stepping back. But recently, something shifted. LeBron started embracing more of a third option role, and suddenly, Whitlock's tone changed. Not because he loves LeBron now, but because his criticism was never personal, it was structural. Backhand index pointing right changed the structure, and the results change with it.
If they don't get out of the first round, I'll send you $2,000. If they get out of the first round, you send me one. Out of the second round, you send me one. That's more fair.
Jason, that sounds like a fantastic deal for me. Thank you.
That's more fair.
Now let's talk facts, because this part is real. Over the last 11 games, the Lakers' defense has been elite. Before, 116 points allowed per 100 possessions. Now, 110 points allowed. That's a massive drop. Even more impressive? Backhand index pointing right that makes them the 6th best defensive team in that stretch. To put it in perspective, earlier this season, around 20th in defense. Now, playing like a top 6 team. That's not a small improvement. That's a complete identity shift. The question is it real?
I'm of Ohio proved LeBron's point last night that winning matters, and I don't know why you guys are second guessing what the Lakers are doing. LeBron has accepted his role. He's performing at a high level in his role, and I'm connecting the two things. I see the skepticism about Miami. Well, they haven't beaten anybody. Well, LeBron they've won 7 straight, man. 2 against the Houston Rockets. Been some other impressive victories in there. It's time to take the Lakers seriously. Am I right or am I wrong?
During this run, the Lakers didn't just beat weak teams. They took down real contenders. Minnesota Timberwolves, New York Knicks, Houston Rockets, twice on the road, Denver Nuggets. These are legit playoff-level wins. But here's the problem. We've seen this movie before. Last season. Started 20-17, mid-tier team. Finished 30-15 run. Climbed to the 3rd seed. Looked dangerous. And then? Backhand index pointing right eliminated in the first round by Minnesota. A gentleman's sweep.
They are giving up just 110 points per 100 possessions. That is down from their season average of 116 points per 100 possessions. So they are playing drastically better defense over this 11-game window of sample size. They are the 6th net-rated defense in the league over that span of time. If you go back to the month just before in February, they were the 19th net-rated defense, and still overall for the season, they're like 20th or 21st. So the fact that they're playing for a large stretch of games as a top 10 defense, an upper echelon defense, when you have, that along with one of the best offensive engines on the planet in Luka Doncic, who's leading the NBA in scoring, 4th in assists. There's a lot of things, presumptively, that we should be liking about this LA Lakers team.
Let's start with the truth that a lot of Lakers fans don't want to hear. Last season already gave us this exact story. The Los Angeles Lakers looked like a completely different team near the end of the regular season. They were winning games, building momentum, and climbing up the standings. For a moment, they actually looked dangerous. People started believing again. It felt like everything was finally coming together. And then the playoffs started. Backhand index pointing right and it all fell apart. They won just 1 game and were eliminated early. Just like that. So when people today say, "We've seen this before," they're not wrong. The pattern is real. Strong finish to the season. Hype builds up. Expectations rise. And then, early playoff exit. That's exactly why some people are not buying into the hype this time. But here's where Jason Whitlock sees things differently. He believes this team is not the same as last year. And the biggest reason for that? Backhand index pointing right Luka Doncic. White medium star Luka has changed everything. Right now, Luka is doing it all. He's leading the league in scoring. One of the top players in assists. Controlling the offense every single possession. This is no longer a team that depends on LeBron James to carry everything. This is Luka's team now. And that actually makes things simpler for everyone. When you have one clear superstar running the offense, the ball moves better. Players know their roles. The team plays with more structure. Luka controls the pace, draws defenders, and creates open shots for others. At this stage in his career, LeBron can still be great, but he doesn't control the game like Luka does anymore. And that's not disrespect, that's just reality. Another big difference this year is the supporting cast. The Lakers actually have players who fit properly around their star. Marcus Smart brings defense, toughness, and experience. Luke Kennard gives them reliable three-point shooting. Austin Reeves does a bit of everything and plays smart basketball. In past seasons, the Lakers had a big problem. Backhand index pointing right, not enough shooting. Backhand index pointing right, not enough perimeter defense. Backhand index pointing right, too much pressure on one or two players. Now, things look more balanced. The team feels more complete. Even if the Lakers are better, the competition is still tough. In the first round, they could face Houston Rockets, Denver Nuggets, Minnesota Timberwolves, Now yes, they've beaten Houston recently. That matchup looks manageable. But the other two? That's where things get scary. If the Lakers face Denver, everything becomes harder. Because of one player. Backhand index pointing right Nikola Jokic. Jokic controls the game in a way that's very difficult to stop. He passes like a guard, scores like a center, reads defenses perfectly. Every time the Lakers play against him, they struggle. And that's not a coincidence. Then there's Minnesota. They already beat the Lakers in the playoffs last year. That matters. Because when a team knows it can beat you, they play with confidence. And when you remember losing to that same team, backhand index pointing right, it stays in your mind. That mental edge can be very important in a playoff series. Lightbulb understanding Whitlock's bet. Now here's something important. Jason Whitlock is not saying the Lakers will win the championship. He's only betting on one thing. Backhand index pointing right, they will get out of the first round. That's it. He's confident about that part. But after that? Even he knows it gets complicated. That's why his bet is focused more on round one than anything else. Crown LeBron is still the X factor. Now let's talk about LeBron. At 41 years old, he's not the same player he used to be. His numbers are lower than his prime years. But that doesn't mean he's not important. His value now comes from experience, basketball IQ, decision-making in big moments. He knows where to be, what to do, and when to do it. And sometimes, that matters more than scoring 30 points. Warning: the biggest risk, health. But there's one thing no one can control. Backhand index pointing right injuries. At this age, anything can happen. Ankle injury, back pain, fatigue. And if something goes wrong at the wrong time, backhand index pointing right, the entire season can change instantly. Counterclockwise arrows button: motivation versus distraction. There's also another question. What's next for LeBron? Will he stay? Will he leave? Is this his last run? That uncertainty can do two things. Backhand index pointing right motivate him to play even harder. Or backhand index pointing right distract him during the most important moments. We don't know which one it will be yet. Direct hit: final thoughts. So now we come back to the big question. Is this Lakers team really different? Or are we about to see the same story again? Because everything looks good right now. Better defense. Better structure. A true superstar leading the offense. But the playoffs are different. That's where the truth comes out.